The EU this week passed legislation that would allow them to sanction human rights abusers anywhere in the world, which means they can freeze their assets, prevent anyone in Europe from doing business with them, and prevent these abusers from traveling to the EU. Now, you all know I'm a sanctions nerd, and so I get excited over these things. But this is a big deal. The bill is called the Magnitsky Act, which is named after Russian lawyer Sergei Magnitsky, who died while in custody in 2009 after being arrested and tortured by Russian government authorities following a massive fraud scheme he'd exposed that involved Russian officials. Magnitsky's client, Bill Browder, has since fought a fierce campaign to get countries to pass legislation that would sanction the thugs that were involved, and from there it expanded into an effort to sanction human rights abusers and corrupt actors globally. We have this law here in the US, and I'm excited about the EU passing it because it means we can go after these assholes together. Who better to talk about this than Bill Browder himself? He's the head of the Global Magnitsky Justice Campaign and author of the gripping book, Red Notice, a true story of high finance, murder, and one man's fight for justice. Bill and I met at the Human Rights Foundation's Oslo Freedom Forum last year, and let's just say he's kicking ass. Hi, Bill. Thanks for joining me. Congratulations on getting this legislation passed.
It's been a very big week, a monumental week, really. It's the result of 10 years worth of effort trying to get an EU Magnitsky Act passed. And finally, earlier this week, it happened.
Well, it's just great. Can you tell me, what are you most excited about now that this law has been adopted?
Well, so the EU Magnitsky Act, like other Magnitsky Acts around the world, freezes the assets and bans the travel of human rights violators. And what is so exciting about Europe is that all these bad guys from Russia and China and Venezuela, they love going to the south of France, to Paris, to Milan, to Rome, to Sardinia, to Marbella, and spend their money and buy villas and so on and so forth. And to cut that off from them is really a serious punishment and makes them feel really constrained and bad. And so having Europe on board is a huge milestone for us in this campaign to get Magnitsky Acts around the world.
I agree. And are there any challenges you see in implementing this legislation?
Well, the one issue with Europe, the European Union, is that for any foreign policy, they have to get every single country in the EU to unanimously agree with each other. And that may sound like really good on the surface, but what it means is that you can get a tiny little country where the head of state is corrupted, and that person can veto the entire foreign policy of the European Union. And this is not just theoretical, this has happened. Hungary, which is run by a prime minister named Viktor Orban, is a good personal friend of Vladimir Putin's. And I believe that he's either been blackmailed or bribed into doing Russia's bidding in the European Union. And whatever his motivation was, he spent several years blocking the Magnitsky Act. And we were finally able to overcome that. But when it comes to new lists of people to be sanctioned, he could step in, or the president of Cyprus, or one of these other little countries which doesn't have such a good reputation, and they can hijack the whole European sanctions policy. And so that's going to be our next challenge. But for this week, we're celebrating. We're celebrating a 10 years worth of work milestone, and then we can get on to the hard work of overcoming these next obstacles later.